story that we're tracking at this hour. Now, the Patna High Court has slammed the cops for using a bulldozer to illegally demolish the house of a petitioner at the insistence of land mafia. Now, slamming the cops, the Patna High Court asked, has the bulldozer started running here too? Who do you represent? State or some private person? Now, made a spectacle of it that you will demolish anyone's house with the bulldozer. Now, the counter made the prima facie observation that the house was illegally demolished by the cops and issued notices to the local superintendent of police and circle officer to appear before it on December 8th.
क्या यहाँ भी बुलडोजर चलने लगा? ऐसा कौन पावरफुल आदमी है जो आप बुलडोजर लेके तोड़ दिए इसका? Whom do you represent? The state or some private persons? तमाशा बना दिया कि किसी का घर बुलडोजर से तोड़ देंगे। ये काउंटर एफिडेविट का लिखिए। फ्रॉम लिखे हुए काट दीजिए। From reading of the FIR counter affidavit of the SHO, it seems that all the officials are hand in gloves with some land mafia, and they have illegally demolished the house of the petitioner without following the due process of law. भूमि विवादों को चिन्हित कर थाना को ही पावर दे दिया गया एग्जीक्यूशन करने का। आपका समस्या है तो चले जाइए थाना, पैसा दे दीजिए और घर तुड़वा दीजिए किसी का।
We have Aditya who's joining us in the broadcast to give us more context into this comment that has come from Justice Sandeep Kumar. Aditya, over to you to give us a sense of course, he has expressed his displeasure in this video, but also the statements that have come out. If you could talk to us about that.
Well, exactly. As far as the statement and the stern remark made by Patna High Court Judge Sandeep Kumar is concerned, of course, he was very categorical and articulate while slamming the state government and district administration officials in particular, while he was actually making his particular observations in a case filed by petitioners Dhananjay Kumar and Kumar Amit. Interesting to note here is the fact that the counter affidavit that was filed by the SHO of Agamkuan police station of Patna district was the actual reason behind the entire thing. Interesting to note here is the fact that the judge himself made stern remarks on the police officials and local district administration officials, including the circle officer, for holding hand in glove with the land mafia. And interesting to note the fact is that respondents number 8 to 12, so there are many private individuals who are actually the respondents in the case, who have been directed by the court to appear in the next hearing through their counsel in the court, failing which stern action is likely to be taken by the court. Interesting to note is the fact that the court has also directed City SP of Patna East, Circle Officer of Patna City and other officials, including the SHO of Agamkuan police station, to appear in the next hearing, and that he further assured the petitioners for cash compensations to be given by the respondents.
Aditya, as you're pointing that out, just a follow-up question, have there been any reactions coming from the police or the concerned authorities' reaction after this stern statement that did come from Justice Sandeep Kumar?
Well, exactly. As far as the district administration and police in particular is concerned, they are yet to make a statement, and interestingly, they will perhaps not make any particular statement in this regard, because the way the Patna High Court has taken up the case and the way the judge himself has made articulate remarks is something that has actually pointed very many fingers on the way the administration works here in Patna.
Right, Aditya, thank you for getting us the latest inputs on this particular story. But we also have Deshrata Nigam, lawyer, as well as Aditya Pratap, lawyer, joining us on the broadcast here on Mirror Now. Thank you to both of you for joining us on Mirror Now. I'll come to Deshrata Nigam first. How do you view this statement that has come in from Justice Sandeep Kumar? What is your first reaction about this stern comment?
Nivedna, in fact, there are two issues to this particular, episode. One, the general comment being made by the judge that this bulldozing has started here too, which is where I have the objections. However, so far as the particular case on which his remarks are there, they are specific to that particular case. He has also said that the police is in hands and glove in demolishing that particular house without following the due process of law. And his comments confined to that particular case, it should be welcomed. And because nobody can just go on and demolish the case, demolish any property just like that. However, making a statement which imputes to the going on in other states, that is beyond the jurisdiction of a judge of a particular high court. Because if you talk of Madhya Pradesh, or because one has to infer from it that UP or Madhya Pradesh, those are beyond the jurisdiction of this particular honorable judge. And therefore, he should not have made those general comments that yahan par bhi hone laga. So I have a grave objection to that, and these things do not go unnoticed. And at the same time, whatever was done in UP and Madhya Pradesh, or for that matter in Delhi, none of the courts have called that illegal. In Delhi, the general demolition was stayed, but in UP and Madhya Pradesh, none of the demolitions were stayed, nor they have been set aside. And hence they have to be seen, and they were the properties of the rioters, where due process of the law had already been done on the entire colonies which were illegal, and they were on grabbed land, government lands, sarkari lands, gram sabha lands. They were there, and they were illegally occupied, and either the buildings were constructed without having permission, and the due process of law through notice and everything had been done. It has been there. And I had seen the record myself in some matters, and therefore the courts had not stayed. And many of the people did not even go to the court because they knew it is the illegal structure. Because once you go to the court will ask, what right do you have over this land, whether it is legal or illegal. Therefore, many people also did not go to the court. And therefore, so far as this particular case is concerned, this particular case, I welcome the judgment of the order of the judge. However, so far as the general statement is concerned, I disapprove of it.
Right. Those are, of course, your inputs. I'll come back to you. But shifting focus to Aditya Pratap Singh, who's also joining us on the broadcast. Aditya, the first viewpoint they made. Who does one inform? What is the procedure like? If you could break that down for us.
Well, this is with reference to the alleged demolitions, right? Yeah. So, see, first and foremost, there is a saying in law that if the law prescribes a thing to be done in a particular manner, it should be done in that particular manner only and no other manner. Now, in this case, it appears from the facts of this case that on the mere basis of registration of an FIR, the house is demolished. First and foremost is, the Indian Penal Code provides either imprisonment and fine. In short, Indian Penal Code does not provide for cash, it does not provide for house demolition. So essentially, under criminal law, the police do not have powers to unilaterally demolish a house. How can you demolish an accused person's house without coming to a finding whether he is guilty or not? Secondly, let's suppose the person is found to be guilty. We have section 357 of the CRPC, which states that the accused can be compelled to give compensation to the victim. Let's suppose a person commits a murder. He has a house. Now, first of all, at the stage of an FIR, you cannot demolish his house. Secondly, let's suppose, you come to a finding that, yes, he has committed a crime. He's a convict. He's a murder convict. The victim's family requires compensation. Now, instead of, giving him, okay, you might just give him life imprisonment, no problem. But instead of ordering peanuts compensation of 25,000, you might as well, under 357 CRPC, levy a fine and attach his house. So the point is, demolition of a house in this is not only like an infraction of the law, but it also does not seek to serve the purpose which the law intends. If the law feels, that the victim be compensated, then the property of the accused can be attached and sold, and the area is used to compensate the victim. So clearly it appears that in the present case, the Honorable Judge of the Patna High Court has rightly castigated the cops for taking law into their own hands, because tomorrow I can just pay some money in the police station. I'll say, is pe FIR kara do, FIR is done, next day the house gets demolished. This is not done. In fact, okay, you want to punish him, levy a fine, attach his house, sell it, and give the proceeds to the victim. That is what the law may provide, but certainly not an arbitrary demolition.
Aditya Pratap, I'll come back to you, but going back to Deshat Nigam, the fact that we've also seen the Guwahati High Court make this comment earlier as well. In fact, they've said that contentions of using bulldozers in the name of investigation. So obviously, two courts. Although, of course, Mr. Nigam, you did state that you do not entirely agree with those stern remarks. How do you see that high courts are, really coming down on these illegal demolitions?
Any illegal demolition should be condemned. There is no doubt about it. There is a due process of law laid down, notices to be issued, you get the replies, and after that, even if the order of demolition is given, then they are given time to demolish it themselves. If they do not do, then the demolition is taken by the state. Even Guwahati High Court, I do not know the context in which they said, if it is in the context of a particular facts and circumstances of a particular property, then I'm sure the Guwahati High Court could have been right. But the fact remains, the judges must confine to the case at hand, making the general remarks with respect to the jurisdictions which is not governed by them will create an anarchy and chaos. Because then the UP High Court will start commenting into the affairs of the Patna High Court. Then that's not a very good situation. And therefore, each High Court must confine itself to its own territorial jurisdiction and confine its observation to a particular case. If there is a trend in that particular jurisdiction of a high court for demolitions, illegal demolitions, then general statements are okay. But so far as the demolitions in other parts of the country are concerned, as I said, that happened during the riots and the due process of law. I know about in Madhya Pradesh, Mandsaur, and many other places in UP also, where there were orders also of demolition already there, much prior to the riots that had taken place. So it was a unique opportunity for the administration out there to take advantage of the already existing demolition order in the case of rioters. Nothing in law could prevent them. And the courts also did not stay. Many people also did not go to the court. Therefore, if the high courts are confined within their own jurisdiction and making statements with reference to a particular property and the alleged demolition or otherwise, then it's perfectly justified. But general statements should be avoided.
Right. Aditya Pratap, coming to you. Now, one of the other comments that has been made is with the fact that joining hands with mafia and illegally to demolish the petitioner house. So when such situations do happen, because, the petitioner also said that there was a lot of pressure, then how does one really go about that? Who does one complain to when such, instances occur?
Well, essentially now, first and foremost is when the police take such arbitrary action, there are a few remedies available. First and foremost, is that immediately a person should file a writ petition in the Honorable High Court to stay the demolition. That is the first step. Second step is, against the first informant, you can file a complaint under Section 211 of the IPC for malicious, for filing a false FIR. You can add Section 182 in that. Against the police officers, you can approach the State Police Complaints Authority as well as the Human Rights Commission, challenging, the order. And fourth, and then you can also file a heavy civil suit for compensation. And I say file it against the state, because till the time such compensations do not go from the salaries of the concerned officers involved or from the exchequer, till then sensitization will not come in. And finally, I really don't see what is the purpose of an arbitrary house demolition, because you may demolish the house, but the title to the land will stay in the name of the person who is in possession, like of the accused. So a demolition serves no purpose. Rather, let the process of law takes its course. If the accused is found guilty, it depends how much fine the magistrate imposes. The magistrate should impose a realistic fine, not a pittance of 10, 15, 20,000. Rather, if he imposes a fine of 10 lakh, 20 lakh, then he can attach the flat, attach the house, get it sold and let the proceeds be paid into the victim's account as compensation. So I certainly feel, that the law provides a very elaborate remedy here. And yes, any person who violates the law, you can, and in fact, you can even, complain again, like if a public servant acts outside the direction of the law, you can even invoke remedies under the IPC also. In fact, yes, against the concerned cops, you can file a counter FIR for house trespass, because entering the house, demolishing, it's a form of house trespass. So, 452, etc. of the IPC, file these, you can file a counter FIR immediately if the house is demolished.
Right. Thank you, Aditya Pratap Singh, as well as Ratandesh Nigam, for joining us on the broadcast. We appreciate your inputs on this particular story that has come in. But at the moment, moving on to more breaking news that we're checking others out.